Long ago, in a faraway land in India, there lived a king. His name was Uttanapad. He married a beautiful, nice queen, a very nice woman. Her name was Suniti, and they had a cute
Long
little
ago,
cuddly boy
in a
called
faraway land in
Dhruva.
India.
Dhruva always liked to play with his dad. In fact, Dhruva was very happy to go out with his parents. His dad used to play with him, take him on vacations, tell him stories in the night. And Dhruva also learned a lot about birds and animals from his dad. When life was going smoothly for Dhruva with his dad and mom Suniti, a strange, unexpected thing had happened. His dad married another queen. Her name was Surichi. And Dhruva's life was changed drastically. His father didn't spend time that much with him anymore. Luckily for Dhruva, after a few months, he got a break. His stepmom gave birth to a child. And so Dhruva got a stepbrother. He was named Uttam. And so Dhruva and Uttam got along very well. They played together happily. They ate together, they played together, and they drew together, and they were quite close brothers. They laughed, they joked, they did everything around the palace. And Dhruva loved his stepbrother Uttam very much. Even while Dhruva thought that his life was back to normal, the same happiness has returned to me. Dhruva was quite happy. But one day, this again happened. His father, Uttanapad, was sitting on the throne, the chair, when Dhruva and Uttam challenged each other. Hey, whoever goes first to and sits on dad's lap is the winner. And both of them ran as fast as they could, and both of them reached almost at the same time. And they said that, hey, I won, you lost. And Uttam said, no, I won, you lost. And so they playfully fought with each other, laughing and playing with their dad happily. At that time, the second queen, stepmother of Dhruva, walked in, and she looked at Dhruva. She didn't like it. She doesn't want Dhruva to be on dad's lap, on his dad's lap. She wanted her son to be there on dad's lap and not Dhruva. And so she screamed at Dhruva, step out, step away from your dad's lap right now. I don't want you to sit on dad's lap, your dad's lap. No, only my son Uttam can sit on his dad's lap, not you. Go away. And so she acted so meanly. Dhruva was hurt. In fact, Dhruva loved his mom, stepmom also. And Dhruva loved his dad and his brother Uttam. But now, when he heard these words from his stepmom, he couldn't bear it. Oh no, can't I sit on my dad's lap? Why? But I love my dad. I want to play with my brother on my dad's lap, he cried. But his stepmom told that, nope, you are not born to me. You must be lucky enough to be born to me so that you can sit on your dad's lap. Only Uttam is lucky enough. He is my son. Now go. Maybe if you are lucky, next birth you might be born to me so that you can sit on your dad's lap. Not this birth. Get away now, she screamed. Dhruva couldn't bear it. He ran towards his mom, crying. Dhruva felt humiliated. His mom at the time, Queen Suniti, was in her puja room doing puja to Lord Vishnu when Dhruva walked in crying. Dhruva told all that had happened. He told her that his stepmom asked him not to sit on dad's lap because I was not born to her, it seems. So, mom, but I wanted to sit on my dad's lap. Why am I not allowed to? Please, he begged with his mom. But Mom Suniti was nice and calm. She didn't react. She didn't cry with him. But instead, she pacified Dhruva. She said, don't worry, my dear Dhruva. Things are going to be all right. You must pray to Lord Vishnu, who is the only person who can help you sit on your dad's lap. Then Dhruva is like, who is Lord Vishnu? Did I know him? Do I know him? Then mom started explaining about Lord Vishnu to Dhruva. Oh, my dear Dhruva, Lord Vishnu was the first person to be born on this universe. Even before I was born, even before my dad was born, even before my dad's dad, granddad, great granddad, great great granddad, great 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 granddads, all people were born, even before all animals were born, and even before this mountains, ocean, sky, everything was created. That person called Lord Vishnu was the one who actually created it. He was born long time ago, and that is why he is called the first citizen. His name is Lord Vishnu. And so if he was the creator of this entire universe, he must help you if you pray to him. But your prayers must be sincere, earnest. Then he will answer to you. You must ask him sincerely, then he will grant you that boon so that you can sit on your dad's lap. Now go back and sleep, told Dhruva's mom. Now that night, Dhruva couldn't sleep. When he went to his bed, he just turned left, turned right, turned left again, turned right again. He was disturbed because he was just thinking about whatever that had happened in the court hall, in the palace. He felt totally hurt. And then also he remembered his mother's words about Lord Vishnu. Oh, then that Lord Vishnu is the person who can help me. Let me go and pray to him right now. Where do I pray? How do I pray? What should I do? He didn't know. And so he straight went to his mom and woke her up and asked her, Mom, I wanted to go out and find out myself where that Lord Vishnu is, and I wanted to pray him and ask him, shall I go right now? And mom said, if you are so much interested, since you asked in the right way for my permission, I am letting you go. But stay careful, be watchful, and you will be blessed with that Lord Vishnu's boon. Now go on, my son. She wished Dhruva goodbye bravely. Now Dhruva stepped out of the palace. When Dhruva came out of the palace, he didn't know anything. Now, what do I do? Where should I go? He didn't have any clue at all. He just kept on walking, walking, and walking. He reached the middle of a forest. In the forest, he was even more confused. He felt he was lost in the woods. He was clueless. No one is there in this forest. Where is Lord Vishnu? I don't even see him. He asked himself. But no one was there. It was so dark in the forest. But finally, there was a little bit of hope. He saw a person walking along. He curiously looked at him. Who that was? That his name was Narada. So Dhruva slowly went closer to him when Narada, the sage Narada, introduced himself to Dhruva. Hello, my dear Dhruva, my name is Narada and I am a sage. Now Dhruva didn't understand what does sage mean. So he asked, oh dear Narada ji, what does sage mean? Oh, my dear child, I just wander all around this place. I don't have one place to live. I don't have a house to live, but I go around meditating, doing yoga, and saying the names of Lord Vishnu. That is my job, and that is why I always am called sage. Sage Narada. Then Dhruva was quite happy. So that means you know about Lord Vishnu? Then Narada said, of course I do. What do you want to know about him? Then Dhruva was excited. I this what happened was in my palace. This is what happened. I was about to go and sit on my dad's lap when I was denied by my stepmother, and she forced me, telling me that I cannot sit on my dad's lap. And my mother told me that I must pray to Lord Vishnu and I'm going in search of him. Will you please help me? Since you say that you always say about Vishnu's name, you must be knowing where he is. So please, please help me. How can I see him? Then Narada was amused. Oh, this small little young boy is interested to see Vishnu, the first greatest citizen of this universe. Let me see how I can make this boy go back home, because it is not that easy for this small boy to see that greatest first citizen of the universe, so let me advise him. Thinking so, Narada started to advise Dhruva. Hey Dhruva, you are such a cute little nice boy. You should go back home because morning, this is now in the evening time, right? Once it gets darker and tomorrow morning, you will start feeling hungry. There won't be any food on the way to if you are going into this forest, you won't get any food. Go back home. Palace has lots of food, fruits, ice creams, and anything that you wanted you can eat. But in this forest you cannot get anything. So my dear child, go back home. Then Dhruva got mad. I don't want any food. I want to see Lord Vishnu. That is the only thing I'm asking your help. Please do not ask me to go back home. I don't want to go back home. Narada ji is like, okay, this boy seems to be serious. Then he tried to let me try a different trick. Dear Dhruva, if you go into this forest looking out for Lord Vishnu, you might meet some wild animals and it might rain heavily. You won't have any place to hide. You might be hurt. Please go back home where you can be safe. But Dhruva said, I am not going back home. I wanted to go and meet Lord Vishnu. Even if I am going to meet wild animals, dangerous animals, and if it is going to be too dark, if it is going to be raining, it is going to be tornadoes, it's okay for me. I wanted to go and meet that Lord Vishnu. Now please help me. He was firm in asking to Naradji. So Naradji looked at Dhruva, and now Naradji knew, okay, this boy seems to be firm in what he wanted. I must advise him. Now he gives the correct advice to meet Lord Vishnu. Now he gives a lot of instructions. Okay, Dhruva, now that I see that you are serious. If I just let you go, you might not go home, but you will wander in this forest only. I don't want you to do that. Let me give you proper advice. I will guide you properly. Saying so, he said, go to this place, turn left, make a right, and go around, and there will be this huge mountain, and go through this mountain. Behind that mountain there will be a river, and near that river there will be a huge tall tree. Sit under the tree every day, take bath in that river, and do take minimum small amount of food, and do some yogas like this. Stretch your hands and do breathing exercises and meditate. When you are meditating, the way, what is meditation, he asked. Dhruva didn't know anything, right? What is meditation? Then Naradji told him, meditation is closing your eyes, taking deep breath, and reciting in your mind that Lord Vishnu's name. Then Dhruva is like, okay, what name should I recite? Then Naradji told Dhruva that you should say, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That is the mantra you should keep on repeating for 1,000 times, 2,000 times, 3,000 times, million times, 2 million times, billion times, trillion times, zillion times, conzillion times until you meet Lord Vishnu. Then Dhruva is like, ready, I will do it. Then he said goodbye to Naradji and started walking into the forest. He started walking alone into the forest without knowing the dangers of the forest. He walked up the hill, he walked down the hill, he walked through the woods, he walked through the plains. He crossed dense forest. He crossed flat fields. Somehow he encountered some animals on the way, but he managed with his brave mind and the tricks and instructions given by Naradji. He was able to travel through the forest following all the milestones and the landmarks that Naradji told. He reached finally that place where Naradji told that there would be a river, a pond, a pool. So he reached there, and finally he also saw the huge tree under which he started his practices. He just did all those practices that Naradji had asked him to do. The stretches, the yoga stretches, because Naradji told him that you have to do all the yoga stretches and then sit under the tree and start doing the meditation. And when you are eating, you may not get any great food. Remember, if you wanted food, go back home right now. In the forest, you must eat whatever you get. And so Dhruva did this every day. In the morning, he performed physical exercises in yoga, and at times he would go and eat some fruits, some leaves that are along the uh, trail of that river. Now, again, he would go back and start doing his routines: meditation, yoga, and meditation, meditation, meditation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. While he was meditating, Naradji told him that by closing your eyes, simply by reciting your mouth, you cannot let your mind go somewhere like, I wish that I stayed at home. You cannot have those thoughts in your mind. Your mind should be just thinking about how Vishnu will be. Lord Vishnu is holding a conch shell on one hand and a chakra on the other hand, Shankha chakra on the other hand, and a mace weapon on the one more hand, and he also has a sword on the other hand, and he puts a gentle smile in his face, and he is standing in front of you. You must just see this way Lord Vishnu in your mind and recite Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So Dhruva is like, oh, okay. Now he started practicing that. Initially, first few days, it was so hard for him. When I closed my eyes, it's so hard. But again, whenever he thought about he was whenever he thought about his stepmom, he decided, I must stay back and practice this. He determined and started doing it again and again and again. After a few days, he became an expert. Now, first 1 month, he had only fruits and leaves, and that too once in every 3 days. That is how Naradji has asked him to eat. He cannot be keep on eating just because you get lot of fruits. You should eat only once in 3 days. And after next 1 month, that is the second month, he ate only leaves, only spinach, nothing else, and that too once in every 6 days, not daily, once in every 6 days. On 6 days he will just sit there and then meditate, 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 meditate. After 6 days he will open his eyes, he will go back and eat spinach, and then he will return, and then again he will do sit for 6 days, and then he will go and then do eat and be back. That way he practiced the second month. Third month third month again he went back to meditation, and even in the day and in the night. It is not that during daytime you do meditation, in the night time you sleep. No, meditation is like sleeping, right? Because he is closing his eyes. So even in the night and in the daytime, at that time the weather was so bad. There were thunderstorms, lightning everywhere. He wasn't scared. He was deep into the meditation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Even though he could hear the thunders all around him and lightning, he wasn't scared. He continued to do it. And even occasionally, there were some wild animals that just paid visit along the path under the tree when Dhruva was sitting and deeply into the meditation. But still, none of those animals dared to go near Dhruva because he was deep into meditation. He was looking so majestic and powerful. So all other animals were scared of Dhruva. Oh, he is so strong. We must not go near him and trouble him. They all went away. And that way he just was doing. And in the third month, fourth month, He drank just water. He didn't even eat spinach. In the third month or fourth month, he just had only water. He lived on water, and that too not often. Once in every 9 days, he will take a break, go drink some water in the nearby pond, and he will be back again doing the meditation. And in the fourth and fifth month, he just stopped drinking water also. He was just taking air inside. He was just breathing in more air, and that air became his food. He started living in that air that he inhaled. And now he was able to do 1 month without taking anything. He just stayed on and on and on and on because he followed every instruction that he had from Naradji. While he was doing that, he was also visualizing that Vishnu in his mind, Lord Vishnu with a conch shell and a discus on his hand, Shankha Chakra, and with a smile. That Vishnu, I wanted to see you, I wanted to meet you. Om Namo Bhagavate. He was so much involved deeply without having any food. Finally, after 6 months, one day he was in for a surprise. Right in front of his eyes, he was not even aware. In fact, he was closing his eyes at that time. Lord Vishnu just descended on earth when he was still absorbed in meditation. His eyes were closed. Then Lord Vishnu looked at him and woke him up. Dear Dhruva, I was so impressed with your sincerity. You invoked my name. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. You called me, and I waited to see how sincere your call was. If you just like that one time just call Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, that is not sincere, right? You have weathered, you stayed up in, even if it was raining heavily, even it was so dark, even if it was some animals going around, you just made sure that your mind was totally on the mantra, which is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudev, and you thought about me all the time. And so I'm impressed. I'm right in front of you, Dhruva. Open your eyes. Then Dhruva opened his eyes. Then, when Dhruva opened his eyes, he saw Lord Vishnu the same way he was just imagining in his mind as described by Naradji. Because Naradji asked him to, with one shankha and one chakra and one hand, right? Same way Lord Vishnu was standing in front of him, and Dhruva was surprised. How you are the first citizen of this universe? Lord Vishnu, oh, I am so surprised and I'm so happy to meet you. Then at that time, because he met Lord Vishnu, all his thoughts about his stepmom, or he was being insulted, humiliated, everything was gone. He was free from everything. Now he was willing to be more happier person than before. Oh, my stepmom did it because that is okay. I'm okay with it. I no longer feel any need for hurt. And I couldn't sit on my dad's lap. That is perfectly okay because I now could sit on the first citizen's lap, which is you, Lord Vishnu. He was quite happy, and Lord Vishnu knew that for sure, because anyone who meets Lord Vishnu, they will not be worried about small things like I didn't get a lollipop, she got a lollipop, or he didn't get a pizza, I got it. All those petty things will go away. Now, Lord Vishnu knew that. But one thing Dhruva had, he started crying in front of Lord Vishnu. Then Lord Vishnu asked, "Why are you crying, my dear Dhruva? I'm here. You ask me anything, I will give you." And Dhruva said, uh, Lord Vishnu, the first citizen, you are in front of me, and I didn't go to school at all. If I had been to school, I would have learned at least some alphabets or some words so that I can sing some song about you, your beauty, your majestic look, your stand, everything, your appearance is so beautiful. I wanted to sing some song on you, but I never had been to any school, so I didn't learn any alphabets. I was just 5 years old and I had to walk into this forest. That is why I couldn't learn. Vishnu said, "Don't worry about it. Here you go." So he took his conch shell and then he caressed that conch shell on his cheeks, on Dhruva's cheeks. Then Dhruva got the intelligence, that knowledge that he always missed. He was blessed with all the knowledge about geography, statistics, astrophysics, astronomy, sociology, naturology. You think of space science, technology, everything, all the knowledge available in the books became Dhruva's. He was so surprised. Science experiments he had never done, but that knowledge came into him. Then he is like, "What is happening to me? I seem to be knowing many things now." Then again, people, sports. I have never played so many sports, but I feel like I can play a lot of things now. Where did I get all those things from? And math. I can solve any problems. Now looks like I am ready for solving great college level problems, even though I have never been to school. Lord Vishnu, where is this magic? Your magic is the greatest magic. He prayed in front of Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu knew for sure that this boy should enjoy the kingdom of his father for long, long time. And so Lord Vishnu blessed Dhruva that you be blessed with long, long life on this earth. Use the knowledge that you have got so far and be useful to many, many people on earth while you yourself enjoy life. Have a great, great experience of everything on this earth and be a good ruler. When you're after your father, you will become the king of the country because you are already the prince. Now you will become the king. With this knowledge, rule the kingdom very well. Make the people also happy. Go back and enjoy. Dhruva got the blessings of Lord Vishnu and he rushed back home happily to tell his mom. His mom was quite extremely happy by the way, his dad was so much worried. "Oh, what did I do?" When Dhruva was about to sit on my lap, uh, when Surichi, the stepmom, and to asked him not to sit on my lap, I didn't do anything. That is so not good. How rude and how bad I behaved. I was so mean to Dhruva. That was not at all right. He was so feeling bad about himself. At that time, Dhruva reached home when parents received him, welcomed him with open arms, and they hugged him. And so finally, Dhruva's life was back to normal. He started enjoying his life with his father, with now the greatest knowledge that he would have never ever got about the first citizen Lord Vishnu and about everything else around him. And he played with his brother Uttam as always, and he lived for 36,000 years. Long life, right? And he ruled the kingdom very well. That is the end of Dhruva's story. Now, what we all learn from Dhruva's story is this: Anytime, if anything doesn't happen the way that we wanted it to happen, we all wanted something, right? Sometimes it may not happen. Oh, we will feel sad. Oh, why it didn't happen to me? So same thing happened to Dhruva. He ended up meeting the first citizen, Lord Vishnu. And so anytime anything didn't happen, it is for good. That is what we will have to tell ourselves. And another thing, most important, thing that we learn from Dhruva's story is when you persist, when you stay put, try again and again and again and again, you will be successful, right? We will definitely be successful just like Dhruva is. When Dhruva was able to do the most impossible by even grown ups, meeting Lord Vishnu is the most impossible thing, even for the grown ups, right? When 5-year-old boy can do it, then we all should be able to do it. Only if we develop the devotion inside us, right? All he did was 5 months, he was so serious about Lord Vishnu. All we have to do is every day, at least 10 minutes, show that sincerity. Oh Lord Vishnu, you are the first citizen of this universe, and your body is this entire universe itself. And in everything in this universe, you are there. You are inside me, you are inside my friend, you are inside my dad, inside my mom, inside my brother or sister. There is no place that you are not there. And I will make sure that I will say your name every day, and I will thank you for all the food that I eat, the dress that I put on, and all the comforts that I enjoy in this life. That is the prayer that we have to do every single day. Then we will be blessed with all those blessings that Dhruva got from Lord Vishnu. With that, we come to the end of this story. I will see you all in the next story session with another great story. See you all. Bye.